showing them that we can provision an environment, 0 to everything in 15 minutes.
Just to clear up any problems on that. But yeah, so this is we call it Small Batch Label Co. And we are aiming at providing you with customizable labels and allowing you to go online, change things, and then get them printed. So how did this project start? Well, it was in a conversation when I said to my son, I'm a software developer, so yeah, I haven't got any really much work on, not anything interesting. And he said, oh, I've had an idea for a while for this site to do customized labels. And I said, yeah, oh, that doesn't sound too hard, as you know. And all us programmers, we tend to say, oh yeah, it'll be fine. So that was about 10 months ago. I haven't worked on it full time, but I've worked on it quite a long time. I should say that I tend to call this the Designer Son and Geeky Dad project, but I'm told by my son that's not professional, which is kind of a bit of a role reversal, don't you think? You know? So anyway, just so you know, I put names on it so you can see. So that's Josh. Sorry he can't be here. He's lead designer on a big website with an agency. So as well as being a great designer, he really is interested in craft beers and home brewing. And he's run a blog with another guy for 3 years on this whole thing. He travels across Europe talking to people, and interviewing them for the blog, and he just knows his beers. He's a award-winning home brewer, and things like at Christmas he sends a special parcel of 8 beers to our house to be delivered so that he and his brother could kind of taste them over Christmas. So he's really, really into it. And on the other hand, I've got an interesting career because I started in programming a long time ago. But in 1988, I moved into tech management, so I left programming behind, but had teams working for me, great, really good time. So I left programming. And in 2009, my wife, very family thing this, got me back into programming because she's a lecturer in maths at Southampton University, healthcare modelling, and the NHS needed something modelled, and she couldn't do it, so I got drafted back in. Developers, the tools are wonderful. In 21 years, it has just moved forward, not just the tools, but the internet, all the information, Stack Overflow, etc. Fantastic. I love it. Josh's, I didn't really get this to begin with, but Josh's kind of idea for this whole site was a bit more nuanced than I realised. He's got all these contacts, he talks to all these people. He wants to kind of bring together the best labels and designs that he can find across Europe, and then, you know, curate them, bring them together, maybe change them a little bit if we need to make them customizable online and things like that. So that's his whole aim. The designers will get their name against it, and they will get a cut for those labels when people buy them. But I think that, you know, that raises the bar for me. And design, obviously, for Josh is absolutely paramount. And the other thing is he says, okay, we'll start in the UK. Home brewing is a place to start. UK is big, clearly, but he said Europe is massive. It's really, particularly Scandinavian countries, and he said that, and design will really play to them. So We're going to start in the UK and then spread out to Europe. So let's just show you a little bit of what we've done. Here is a little, it'll just keep playing, but we had a crappy site, which we did at the beginning, but it was really, really simple. But Josh got a whole load of his homebrewing guys to have a look at it, and they kind of looked at how it was, just the idea really, and they said, yeah, could be good, price, got to have good designs, whatever. But anyway, we took it a little bit further, but one of the guys said, oh, can you type straight onto the label? Okay? And actually, we can, you could just, I could do that. You could just have the image and you could type over it and all the rest of it. But actually, you have to get behind the problem. And you see here, I've got a good point here. I am dyslexic, but that was on purpose. That if you misspell things and you type it onto a label, where does the dictionary come from? That comes from the browser because you put the little box up. Yeah? And in here, it's in English. In Sweden, it'll be in Swedish. So while the customer was kind of aiming us one way, you have to think behind these things and think about the thing. Also, this is totally tablet aimed, right? And it'll even work on a phone. And if you think about it, making sure that the thing pops up in the right place is really hard to do. So having that little box come up really works. It'll kind of slide around the screen. So that's the sort of thing that you have to get into. You have to really think about what's going on. And what I want to say is, we always talk about customer focus, but I've learned that you've got to be better than customer focused. In this long career, I worked for a company for 20 years. Some of you think, wow. But I started as a programmer, and there was about 100 people in it, and I finished as head of development with an R&D lab of 55 engineers, and there was about 750 people worldwide. Yeah? So I grew with it, and I had a ball. We absolutely got the engineers. We took them to exhibitions. They would demo. They would go and visit clients, which can be scary. As you know, engineers can say, oh, yeah, I can do that. But we got those people really engaged in the customers. And so when I got more senior, I did a trip round. The company was called Quantel. We did equipment for TV and film industry. Really interesting area, obviously. And I did a trip round the US, visiting various facility houses and film houses. And for instance, I visited Industrial Light and Magic when they were doing one of the Star Wars, and we were talked through the whole process of how they put that film together. And Lucas was involved then. Didn't meet Lucas, obviously, but just how that was done. And once you understand the customer and their workflow, you can see the little points where you can slot in. So some years later, we made a machine which did real-time colouring of multiple streams. And that went straight into it was very expensive, but they put it in because it made a big difference in the pinch point. So that's what I want to say. You've got to do better than customers' focus. You listen to your customers, but only you and your design and your engineers know the technology. Okay, so you've got to somehow you've got to reach that, and it's your job to understand the customer so well that you can put the technology in. Let me give you another example that we came across. This is just applying, not beer label, this is just life. But when I order things online, there's sometimes that point where you get the email back and you go, you've just placed the order and you go, oh no, I got it wrong. It's the wrong colour. Or it's going to come too late. And then how do you cancel it and all the rest of it? So that's a real problem. And when you've typed a label where you have to put everything in, yeah, admittedly we got this spell checker, but you could get something wrong. And we have this, I call this the beast batter problem. Okay? It should be the best bitter. Yeah? Spell checker wouldn't catch that. So what do? First off, we give them 2 hours grace minimum. If they order in the evening or the weekend, we don't put it until 4 a.m. We don't put it into the print queue until 4 a.m. on the first working day. So you've got a long time. So the first thing is you've got that. The second thing is we give them a little bit.ly link, right? One of these short versions that you can tweet to people, and you can send it off to your mate and say, look, I've just ordered this beer label. And if they can see it, but not edit it, obviously. And if they go, did you mean the beast batter? You go, oh, right, fix it. And also, the other thing we do is if someone else, like your spouse or your partner, goes, that just isn't right, you can cancel it. Full refund, just cancel it. And we don't want anybody buying anything unless they really want it. So it's this attention to thinking through the problems that they'll have and dealing with them that matter. I want to end on another point. When I was with Quantel, we absolutely made money hand over fist. I had an executive jet, helicopter. The CEO had a Ferrari, yeah, as a company car. Fantastic, yeah? Then technology changed and it dive bombed. So I know we're going to deliver a really premium quality product, but costs matter. If you have got a high cost base, you can't survive when things change. So that is our monthly cost. That fixed cost, yeah? That's our monthly fixed cost. No premises and everything. Oh, and we only spent about £500 in the whole 10 months getting here. 400 of that was on fonts. And I was given the fonts by my son to put in this. He said, yeah, you use that for that for that, right? So we've really watched the money. So there you are. That's a complete breakdown. Yeah? Yeah? So that gives us fantastic flexibility because we can start small, and if we make 50p per order, I only need 144 orders a month to break even. Okay? And that is fantastic. I've been in the big end and now we're in the little end. A typical order for us is £17. Right? So that's what we've got to do. Now, the other thing, just to end, is obviously you're going to say people. I have automated the heck out of the thing. Not only the standard path, right, but all the error paths. And it tries to sort the errors if something goes away, but if it can't sort it, it puts a thing saying, awaiting operator attention and a little message, so I can go to the dashboard every day, because I'm going to have to run it, right? So I, at this stage, are really incentivized to, because I don't want to do all this, I just want to write code, don't I? So I've automated it so that it makes my life simpler, but as it grows, it will also, I'm on Azure, cloud, multiple instances. We can just take this to the next level and it will be, it will be really easy. Yeah. And I think that's it. The only thing I'll leave you with, went too far. That top link is very important, because that's Josh's beer blog that you might find interesting. So that's it. Thank you very much.